Hey everybody, this is Mike, WX0MIK. Tonight was club meeting night, and meeting wise there wasn't a whole lot going on. We just have one big event happening, and that is our marathon. We had a new ham there who, relatively new I should say. He's been licensed for a couple months, so we're kind of going over the details with him on just kind of what generally to expect. And be aggressive if there's emergency, things like that. I can talk about that in another video maybe if people are interested in that. And then, like we have had the last several times, people brought in their junk. And one ham's junk is another ham's treasure type deal. Well, I definitely didn't want everything that was there. But I did see some coax, like, oh, well, I could always use a little more coax. You can always use more coax. I'm not certain it's long enough to do anything I want it to do. I was like, well, I got it. Let's just, or I brought it with, I can figure out what I can do with it. And then, something I had not thought about at all was a outdoor antenna switch. So for those of you who don't know, antenna switches, you can switch between multiple different antennas, and there are some that are in your shack, so you just switch what antenna you want to go to. Maybe you're on the 40 meter dipole and you want to switch to the 20 meter beam, things like that. In this particular case, is one that's designed to sit outside of the shack. So normally it would go outside, and then you are just bringing one coax in, and I think this one had 5 connections on it. So you can kind of switch between 5 different antennas. And I was looking at it, I was like, well, I don't really need any of this stuff, but the guy said he had to go. So he was wondering if someone would just take care of it. It's like, don't worry about it. I'll take it all home, and then I can bring it back next time. As I started looking at it, I was like, wait a minute. I've talked about this a little bit, but I am moving my shack in my house here soon. I know I keep talking about it. I just haven't put hammer to nail, so to speak. Actually, I gotta strip out stuff first. But I started looking. I was like, wait a minute, because my concern is the length of coax I gotta run, and do I have enough? And I think I have enough for 3 antenna runs, but I have 4 at least. And so I started really looking at it. I was like, wait, I could use this. I could put this in the old shack, because I think, at least for now, I'm going to run the coax into the old shack, and then I am going to run that all the way across over to the new shack. I haven't quite figured out how I want to get it into the house yet, and I think I'll do another video asking for advice on that one, because I don't have great ideas off the top of my head. So I'll probably do that, and that will give me what I need, because I have 2 HF antennas, so I could run the 2 different antennas off that one switch, because you can only run 1 HF antenna at a time off of one radio, and then, at least my radio, and then I have 2 different VHF UHF runs. So that would allow me to get everything over there and have the coax. So I think that is what I am going to do, is use that as my run, and that should give me what I need. So I think if that thing works, assuming everything's there, I might just try using that as my switch. I think it's an Ameritron brand, so it's but it is much older. So, but I'm imagining it should be a pretty solid device. There's some rust and stuff on it, so I'm hoping the guts are still good. And then we'll use that as my at least an internal switch until I kind of get things reorganized a little further and decide exactly how I'm going to bring antennas into the basement in a much better fashion. So stay tuned for that video. I'll try and get that recorded here soon before it gets too cold. And then maybe all winter I will scheme and plan and collect items in order to run it a little more direct into the shack. Because that's my only worry there, is that it's going to be a little bit longer run than I kind of would hope. But if I could take out 5-6 feet out of that run, it's not much, but it would still help. So anyway, and then I helped one of the newer local hams. She was considering buying this Yaesu FT950, I believe it was. And so before I got there, they were trying to listen around on it. They said, "Oh, Mike's here. Here, help her out." So they had a 2-meter antenna hooked up to it, only for receive. I will say that right now, only for receive. I tuned into a couple of the WWV stations. I couldn't hear anything with that. So what else threw out there? Oh, sorry, yawning. If there's a wire in that box, she had a box of different cables and wires and stuff. You know, if maybe we can make that work. So I found a look like speaker wire that was wrapped up, like it was kind of wrapped up for storage, like you would cables like that or wire like that. And I found uncut or a cut end that was exposed, so I could just stick it in the hole, as we elegantly called it. And then I went back to WWV and boom, I started getting signal. It was weak. I mean, not a good antenna by any means, but we did hear enough. It's like, yep, looks like your receiver's working fine. She was a little worried about all the buttons and knobs, and I told her, you know, here's how I learned. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not. I'll do another video on that too at some point here soon. You know, how I just started fiddling with knobs and asking questions, and pretty soon I kind of found quote unquote my settings, and I just kind of don't touch it at that point. I know you can, you know, notch things out and things like that. Once in a while I'll touch it if I need to, like I did last night, but overall I just let it go. Oh, sorry, it's yawn time apparently. So I helped her get on the road. I said, okay, well, my recommendation is either get just a really simple dipole to start with, or if you prefer and want to spend are willing to spend a little bit more, get yourself an end-fed halfway from my antennas, just because I knew they were of a decent quality and system. I said all you need is something that's 100 watt capable, and you can have 40, 20, 15, and 10 on this antenna to get you going. I didn't think about mentioning coax. I should have probably mentioned that. Hopefully she figures that out. I am going to email her some additional information. She wanted to know about some nets that she can listen to, things like that, or at least frequencies to listen to. So I am going to send her some information on a few nets that I'm aware of, just so she can start listening, kind of get the understanding. I was like, that's the perfect place to start. And then eventually she can work her courage up to get on the air. So always know that you will always have stupid questions, and most people will be willing to answer them as fast as they can. So I'm running out of time here, but we can talk more about that again later. So 73WX0MIK.